On the island of Zamani, it's likely that there are only a handful of Russian residents living there at any given time. Today, a Harpoon anti-ship missile struck the Russian cruiser Vasily Bek, but this engagement resulted in the destruction of more than just one enemy force. After the Moscow missile cruiser was destroyed, Ukraine continued to operate the Neptune, despite the fact that the Russians were unaware of the Neptune's capability to fire 360 missiles. They came to the conclusion after thinking about it more symbolically than practically that Ukraine's peak 360 is extremely rare and only exists in extremely small quantities, which means that it can use them either on a very important object like the missile cruiser Moscow, or in the event that there is a threat of landing on enormous landing ships. This was the result of their symbolic thinking rather than their practical thinking. In this regard, the invaders withdrew their second and third rank vessels from the purported Neptune defeat zone for reasons of security. However, they started using rank 4 ships to carry personnel, equipment, and ammunition to Snake Island. This was an extremely brave move on their part. In all candor, nobody is going to squander a priceless PEA 360 on a yacht or a tugboat. The invaders took advantage of this chance to supply Snake Island's echelon air defense with a significant number of equipment, which they have continued to do ever since the initial attack. 2 Harpoon missiles have not been successful in destroying the Vasily Bek. Each missile can carry a maximum of 2 additional missiles and has a displacement of 1670 tons. Despite this, Harpoon may be used successfully against ships with a displacement of up to 5,000 tons. That is to say, Ukraine has proved that it is capable of not only causing damage to Russian surface infrastructure, but also of destroying and obliterating them entirely and completely. Additionally, Ukraine has proved that it now possesses an adequate number of Harpoon missiles to prevent money from being saved. What is going to become of the supplies that the group of occupiers had on Snake Island now that they have been abandoned? There are currently people intent on committing suicide by bombing who are sailing there on ships. In the same way, the squatters on the Syrpntine are destined, over the course of time, to an ending that is fully predicted given the lack of supplies and protection they have. Will they mount a rescue operation for reptiles, namely snakes? Victory for those destined to lose. Along with some toast and water. If everything is now under control, then there is no reason for the APU to send forces to Smani and begin an operation to retake control of the island nation. In addition, the degree of control will become significantly greater in the not-too-distant future. But we'll talk more about that in a bit.